Understanding the law can be a trick one, but with Eric Mamazi on the case, you're about to understand every law you've ever wanted to understand. This is the Legal Talk.
Welcome back from the short break. Mamazi Eric hosting today's discussion about health and law. If you are tuned in earlier on, we discussed about issues to do with the law process making, and specifically we hint on the Excess Duty Amendment Act, which was dealt with in 2017 and tax effected in 2018 July. And now we are to look at health and law. We're going to look at different laws that deal with the sector of health and how it has improved the different lives of people seeking health services from different institutions, let them be government institutions and private institutions. There's so many people out there seeking for these health services from different institutions, but they don't know. What they don't know is that when you go to a health institution to seek their services, let's say get medication, get pre-antenatal care, all those things, there is a certain degree of care that the institutions are supposed to accord to you as their client. So let me give the floor back to our today's discussants, the society presidents from the different institutions, beginning with the KIU society president. Briefly, can you let the public know in what laws are there that relate to the health institutions, regulating the way in which these health institutions provide the health services to different people? And just briefly about that.
Thank you, moderator. With regard to health and the law in the country, Uganda, I think the government as a body has tried to enact laws in line with health. The constitution first of all does not talk about or provide for a right to health exactly, but it embodies such rights that may accrue to life, right to life under Article 21, right to equality and under Article 22, and very many of them. Then we go to the national objectives of state and state policy. We have very many of them that talk about or hint about health. We have Article 39 that talk about right to a clean and healthy environment. All those embodies health. And they have gone further, the government or the parliament under its powers in the constitution under Article 79 has gone further to enact more laws in line with health. The Mental Health Act has been enacted. The Public Health Act has also been enacted. The Occupational and Healthy Act has also been enacted. All those acts are meant to make sure that the provision of health services in the country are running smooth. And there are very many organizations, judicial organizations, that fight or overlook on the way health is on the way health is done in Uganda in terms of providing services. We have there are very many organizations that fight or come in to overlook and see whether the services of health are on a good level. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Twins.
And the law is very good and clear on health.
Thank you very much. I believe we can have now a brief introduction about the topic from the Society Makerere University, Mr. Kenneth.
As Mr. Vincent said, there are several laws governing health in Uganda. While there might be need to implement a few more and maybe update the old ones, because some acts really that were enacted in the 1930s but are still governing us, yet they don't accurately reflect what's going on today.
Very much.
But in terms of legal framework, as I said, as I was starting on the segment about the Excess Duty Act, Uganda has laws, but the issue comes to implementation, right? How well are these laws implemented? How well are the procedures followed and whatnot? So, in terms of the legal framework in Uganda, it's wanting, in my opinion. A lot can be done to make it stricter and tougher, but then again, there's no point in having laws that are not well implemented. So, my issue is with implementation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kenneth. You see, you're also the president. What's your say?
Thank you very much. The right to health in Uganda. One thing that we need to note from the very beginning is that the constitution does not outrightly provide for the right to health in Uganda. is that the right to health is simply inferred from the various provisions.
Very much so.
35, Article 8A, and the national objectives, yes, and then some of the provisions under Chapter 4 of the Constitution. So what needs to be done is that Uganda needs to copy what has been done in other jurisdictions like Kenya, South Africa, by the parliament including an outright provision in the constitution that provides for the right to health. Because if that right to health is not provided in the constitution, it makes the right to it makes the whole idea of achieving the right to health impossible or difficult. Yes, like we shall continue discussing through the various cases that have come to court. The whole constitution has come into play.
Okay.
This whole right is not provided in the constitution, so we shall look into the various acts and then we shall infer from the constitution. So we do have the laws, but I think a lot needs to be done in the constitution.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President, UC Law Society. So basically what we are going to be discussing in relation to health and law today is a special case that was handled by one of non-government organizations, Center for Health and Development versus Director of Mulago Referral Hospital, which was the judgment was delivered in 2017. The case involves a young couple who, where the young lady delivered a set of babies who were twins in the hospital premises, but unfortunately one of the babies was delivered when it had passed away. But then the lady was not informed about the occurrence or the fact that the baby had been produced dead. And on producing the body of the kid or that baby, it was later on produced the facts to the parents. It looked like the body of that baby had passed on for like 3 days, and to them their baby had just been hours. So when they requested to do a DNA test on the baby, the results came out negative in that they had no parental relation, or what I would call fatherhood or motherhood, to any of them to that baby. So this Center for Health and Development brought on behalf of these people. Yeah, it's very true. Someone can bring a public interest case to the courts of law and it will be decided in a matter like this, whereby CHAD, Center for Health and Development, brought this case on behalf of these two young couples, and it served. The suit was against the Attorney General of Uganda and the director from Lagos Hospital. As the suit was going on, I think different issues were deliberated, whereby negligence, whereby whether the hospital had any negligence towards the death of the kid, because in the reception of the mother before giving birth there was a lot of commotion, they were busy, she wasn't attended to first, but then she had previously taken an antenatal test a few months into the pregnancy and she never took another test. So it couldn't be ascertained whether the kid died at the hospital or whether the kid had already been dead by the time she gave birth. So the question to these young gentlemen I would like them to address to the public is on that aspect of, do you think it was right? Yes, the law is clear. There's supposed to be negligence attributed to the hospital before they can be penalized for that aspect. But do you think it would be okay for a mother who has given birth to twins and she has not been informed about that ordeal, and later she gets given a body that doesn't belong to her, and then later on, by virtue of the fact that the negligence could not be ascertained on whether it was attributed to the hospital or the mother, by virtue of that compensation gets taken out from the mother? Do you think it is a correct stand of the law, or you share your views?
Yes, well, I think the CHAD case is very important for, most of the cases that have been handled by CHAD are very important for public interest litigation in Uganda.
Very much.
More so in terms of access to health and also what you talked about in terms of access to information. It's quite unfortunate that someone should have to go through that, and I applaud CHAD for bringing cases of this nature to the courts, because there are so many people, actually. For every one case CHAD brings, there are 1,000 people maybe, or maybe I'm exaggerating. But there are several people who suffer at the hands of medical personnel who are treated recklessly, and what CHAD is doing for these people is really great. But when it comes down to it, to the law, I think that matters of damages should be strictly proved. I think that, well, in as much as they asked for compensation of 300 million in this case, and it was reduced based on the fact that they couldn't prove, yes, it's important that the judges look at these things objectively and not look at it emotionally, because, well, from a rational point of view, right? Yes. I mean, if you haven't studied the law, you would easily say that, well, they stole their baby, let them, okay, they lost their baby, they didn't tell them, they should be condemned in damages. I agree. But then again, I think it's important that the law remains, objective and looks at things the way they are. You have to prove these things. So maybe next time, whoever comes to court with these claims will present a better case based on what has been seen there.
Yeah, but like we are saying about access of information, right to access information.
Yes.
You see, this is a parent who didn't even know that keeping pre-antenatal records is a very important thing. So, looking at it from that perspective, we are punishing an illiterate who didn't know. Okay, I know ignorance of the law is not a defense, but let's look at this from the facts, like you're saying, not emotional. The parent did not know keeping pre-antenatal records is an important aspect of the whole pregnancy period. And the medical personnel, I'm assuming she conducted the antenatal check she did her first was from the same hospital that she wanted to deliver. This is the information that you're supposed to give, they're supposed to be passed on to their clients. So I believe if there was an aspect of certain information was never given to her in the first place, then she shouldn't be punished for not knowing that information.
Yes, true, but you have to prove these things. This is what it is.
Yes,
it's an adversarial system. Mm-hmm. You have to go and prove that on the balance of probabilities that your case is stronger, and you do that by bringing evidence. So you have to go and if you don't have the records, you can call a nurse. You can call someone who you went with, because most times they encourage you to go with a partner, or you can even have a family person. You can even call someone who saw you at the hospital. You can't come there many times and people don't get acclimated to you, So I think that, well, it's unfortunate. I don't want to sound heartless. I feel for her. It's quite unfortunate what happened. But the judges cannot start speculating on these things. We can't say, oh, I'm really sorry, you're illiterate, and because of that, we're going to give you many damages, or we're going to award you a higher cost in damages. I don't really think that makes sense. I think that the people, if she goes to lawyers, they should prepare her with those things, and they should be able to help the person to prove their case better.
Thank you very much. What do you think, Mr. Trinson?
For me, first of all, I want to first appreciate the fact that we have Sehad coming in on such a matter. We actually, I think we need more organizations like Sehad. Sehad has been involved in many cases, and they're very pertinent to Uganda's jurisprudence. And that's why we're actually discussing one of their cases. Mm-hmm. Well, as earlier said, I did say and submit that law and health, it is a good relationship in Uganda. There are very many laws and acts that try to consolidate health, to make sure health is going on smoothly in the country. Then, to that case, I think it is omnibus that a woman who is pregnant must always go for checkups, monthly checkups. I think it would even be better when you go for a fortnight checkups to make sure by the time you deliver.
That is if you can afford them though.
Yes, I'm not an expert in antenatal, yes, but I think that's the best way. So the fact that this lady had just gone through a few tests and she didn't know the status of her pregnancy was bad, and the negligence from the hospital as well. I think there was an arrangement, a setup kind of, which resulted into the loss of another child, which is not professional in terms of being a doctor, a medical doctor. You cannot do such to a patient, a pregnant mother who has been carrying this baby is for 9 months, and out of the blue, one disappears. and then you're bringing another one.
It's quite disheartening.
Yes, it is disheartening and embarrassing. It is an arrangement, a setup from the hospital administration.
I wouldn't call it an arrangement actually.
We call them a duty of care.
Yes, I agree.
Students.
I agree they owe them a duty of care, but the reason why I say it's an arrangement, how comes if it was not an arrangement, they would not provide a kid who has a different DNA from the mother? I strongly believe there's something behind the arrangement, that it either began somewhere and you can see up to date they have not discovered the other kid. You get it? But court, of course, court does its duty. It plays its roles. Like I said, the law is in harmony with health. Court has sounded itself on very many cases. With regard to health, you remember teen versus AG and DAT, very many cases. Even this one of CHAD, it is a healthy case. The law is doing great as far as health is concerned.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jameson. What do you think, Mr. Wari?
Thank you very much. When we are to analyze that very important case by CHAD, great thanks to CHAD by the for the great job it's doing in litigating the right to health in Uganda. Now, one very important thing in the CHAD case, particular, I think Mulago or all public hospitals should take a little bit of more concern when it comes to how they handle the citizens, or how they handle, let's say, pregnant mothers, since this is what this case was talking about. If a pregnant mother has come to a hospital and given birth to two, and then later you say one has died, and then later that one who has died is proven not to be my child, one would want to believe that the other child was stolen.
Yes,
and
very
let's
true.
say given out to another person or sold, because we have heard of such allegations.
Yes.
The public institutions need to take more concern to the mothers and to the citizens by putting precautionary measures, give more care to the people. And then another thing is, in that particular case, to even show that there was negligence, the court goes ahead and rules that the whole idea of not giving them their child, it did not give them the right to bury. Yes? Because as Africans, we have, we do carry out, yes, the tradition say that once you lose someone, you bury. So if the family is not given that right to exercise, that causes them torture and cruel and inhuman treatment. So I believe health institutions should take more care and be more careful. And then when we look at the idea of the damages that were accorded, according to me, if I was seated in that seat, let's say I was one of the justices,
Sure thing.
I think I would surely give enough damages to the poor woman, because
Was an 80 million enough?
the 80 million was very small, because such institutions need to, it's like an example, exemplary damages, really. If you are able to leave these people to go away with a small figure, other institutions will do the same way, knowing that even if, they won't take more care, because knowing that even if we do this, it's not very much.
But I don't think there is any money that is enough for life.
Yeah,
Life is very
true.
precious.
You can't put a price tag on
So
that.
I think given 80 million, it was in the wise decision of the justices, but there's no one that is enough for life. Life is very precious, and to me, that money was just like, it is like a cover up. If she's my wife, I don't think I would take that money.
Okay.
I can never replace my kid.
I would like us to address our minds basically to those damages that were awarded. Let's look at it. The hospital was not negligent in handling the pregnant woman who had come to deliver her babies.
Yes.
Fine. Let's look at that. So we can't award damages for that. But let's look at the fact that they both accept that the woman gave birth to twins. That's very true. One of the twins is alive, but the other one is dead. The hospital produces a body that doesn't belong to, knowingly, because we can't assume that these people didn't know that the body they were given to her wasn't hers. Okay? That is one wrong. That is the first. Let's look at them at different levels of the wrongs. Then, after finding out that the kid wasn't hers, they still can't produce the actual body that she gave birth to. So meaning now the hospital has committed 2 wrongs to one person at the same time. We have admitted the 3rd wrong. So are we looking at awarding 80 million Ugandan shillings really enough to tell a parent who has failed to get the chance of burying their, they are part of them. It's always like, let's not look at these things up by saying some things you don't need to be emotional, you don't need to we need to look at facts, like my friend Kenneth Kepi was saying. So let's look at this awarding of damages. Me, I still feel like it was, yes, there were damages, but they were really not sufficient enough to cover what the hospital had done out of, because we believe different people go to these hospitals in belief of the expertise first, and on the fact that they have been certified to carry out those services to the different people. So if someone like that comes and gives all their self to you, that wrongs that you commit out of your knowing and out of your expertise, I believe there's supposed to be like punitive damages and damages for psychological touch and all that stuff. So I feel like they were really from that analysis, I feel like they really weren't enough.
Well, you see, I guess the ultimate question we have to ask now is, can you really put a price tag on some of these things?
I was like,
Can you? It's quite difficult to quantify, because if, for example, I cause loss of business, you can come and say receipts, I used to earn 200 million every month. Well, so it's easier to quantify.
You see, my issue is not about quantification of the life that was lost. My issue is about punishing the wrongdoer.
Thank you.
Punishing them to make sure that, exemplify the fact that no any other person should treat people with that less care.
Yes, but at the end of the day, who is the wrongdoer in this case? It's the government and Mulago Hospital. Where is the money going to come from? Say you award 1 billion.
The taxpayers.
Where does it come from? It comes from us at the end of the day. So I think all those factors come into play. But I think the most positive development that came out of that case was what Sehad and Mulago have been able to do now. Sehad and Mulago have a wonderful working relationship. They undergo and work on so many projects together, and together they've been able to at least improve. So I think as a strategy, the litigation itself, but what followed the litigation by Sehad of reaching out to the hospital and working together to improve some of these things that are going wrong in our system, that's where I see that the real change can come from, rather than awarding excessively all these damages. Actually, if you award 1 billion against Mulago, do you really think, okay, I don't really think it would be easier for them to even come to the table with you and negotiate. So the judges have put all that into consideration. But at the end of the day, I think all of us have the same goal here. The hospital, limited in resources, maybe there are a few other people who are rogue in the hospital itself, but they all have one goal, which is to provide good health care to the people, at least. So at the end of the day, I think the most beautiful development from this case, rather than anything else, has been the working relationship with Mulago. And I think more civil society organizations should look at forming such partnerships with these organizations and helping to improve, because if the government falls lapse or some of these things keep happening, it will educate the people who are coming to get the services, but also educate those giving the service, and we improve together.
That is a very great
Maybe
submission.
to add something.
Yes.
Through this case, yes, when we look at the whole issue of damages that was given, it may not have been substantial enough to cover up the lost life of the child and the pain, but it goes back to the whole idea of what were the examples learned, what lesson was learned from the case. At the end of the day, you look out that next time, if Mulago is okay, any hospital literally is handling this patient, they will take more caution, because they know that failure to do that, anything can happen, and that attracts a bigger penalty. So literally, I think the lessons learned are broader than the damages.
Yes. As for me, I still strongly aver that there's no price you can put on life, someone's life. I am not sure the reason why the lordships did give that, I can call it a tickling amount maybe, to console the family. Let's call it a consolation. It was not even, it was not something to replace the child's life. It's just a consolation to say, oh, we are sorry, this is what happened. But as I said, there was an arrangement, assigned as some kind of funny arrangement. And that kind of arrangement is what we call negligence, which is against the professional ethics and etiquettes of a medical worker. They put this pregnant lady in a ward, she gives birth. I don't think there's anyone who accesses that room apart from the medical doctors. So the fact that one kid goes missing, there is strong belief that there is a lot of negligence from these medical workers, and they should check up on, or maybe the system of administration should check up on these medical workers who handle these pregnant women, because we cannot always have a risk or always have this kind of things happening, where a pregnant woman carries her twins for 9 months, 9 painful months. I'm a twin, so I understand the pain. I don't understand it, but I feel there's a lot of pain carrying twins. And on producing, one goes missing. It is really embarrassing, disheartening, that it is something someone would not tolerate at all. And I think the medical workers in Uganda, through their medical association, should actually hold strongly the values, ethics, and etiquettes of a medical worker professionally.
But at the end of the day, we're in Uganda, so even if they give you damages, will they be paid?
Yeah, that's also another question.
That's also another issue.
Thank you very much, you gentlemen. Something else that I would like to bring to the notice of the public is the fact that these things are happening, and like my learned friend was saying, Kenneth Kiapi, one of those cases that are being dealt with by CIHAD, it's just an example of the 1,000 cases or even more that are out there in the country. You might be out there being through the same things that we are talking about right here now, and you feel like you don't even know whether your health issues can be really attended to through the legal process. But I want to show you the organizations such as Center for Health and Human Development that has set all their resources to addressing such issues in health. I, for one, I have a live example that I have a friend of mine whose mother was misdiagnosed with HIV/AIDS, and she was subjected to taking ARVs for over 6 months, close to a year. By the time these ARVs were giving her side effects that were near... Okay, unfortunately, before I even hear the story ends sad because she passed away recently.
Sorry.
Yeah, so the misdiagnosed taking all those tablets, the side effects came in to haunt her. Then by that time, I didn't know as much law as I do know now, and I believe even herself being subjected to such a wrong diagnosis and being given ARVs that she wasn't supposed to take, it's something that I believe it's something that now that is happening. If something like that can happen in one referral hospital, it means it happens in other referral hospitals. And it's something that the medical workers should really put into this. Before you make any diagnosis for someone, please take caution. Know that it's the actual diagnosis. Apparently she didn't seek legal help because she didn't even know that something like CIHAD exists. So I believe if you're watching this and you have something like that going on out there, please, you can reach out to us at Legal Talk, at all our social media websites. We'll be ready to direct you to the responsible organs, the non-government organizations, and the government organizations that can really help you. So a word to those people that are seeking different health services. Are you telling them that they should trust our referral hospitals, or they should really give up since these things are happening?
No. They cannot give up on our referral hospitals. That's the only choice they have. They cannot rely on medical hubs because they won't help them. Whereas some people strongly believe in medical hubs, but it cannot help them. They should keep going and visiting these referral hospitals regardless of the anomalies that take place there within their system of administration. They should have hope that at the end of it all, they need to get better.
Thank you very much. You think the same?
Well, I also agree. I don't think a dirty drop of water makes the whole ocean contaminated.
Very true.
I don't think that because, well, one bad thing happened, made by a few crooked medical personnel maybe, that everybody else is bad. I have several friends who are doctors, and many of them know the challenges of the profession, but you see people who actually have a passion for saving life. And there's so many doctors I know who are like that. So at the end of the day, I don't think we should lose hope in our hospitals. They do their best given the circumstances. Exactly. But then again, we as citizens need to come up. We shouldn't let the wrongs go wantonly without being checked. If something goes wrong, we should come up and ask that it be rectified. But at the same time, we should continue working with them. not only leaving it to the CSOs in the government, but we should also try and do our part wherever we can to ensure that we keep improving the right to access to health in Uganda.
Thank you very much for your views. As we go for the short break, I would like to remind you that if you want to look this smart or smarter than any of these gentlemen you're seeing right here, this is the Creative Hub UG in Tinda at Frobel, first floor. Then for those young lawyers seeking for mentorship, you don't know what you're going to do after the 4 years, or you don't even know what you want to do apparently, there's always a mentorship sessions going on at Protea Hotel, and apparently there's one coming up on 27th February. Please endeavor to attend and you will get different, I tell you, I assure you won't live the same. Let's see you after the short break. Thank you very much.
Understanding the law can be a tricky one, but with Eric Mamazi on the case, you're about to understand every law you've ever wanted to understand. This is